America, and hello world. Good morning, Pilipinas. Welcome to the Teacher's Voice. This show aims to give teachers the opportunity to talk on air about their unforgettable journeys and thrilling adventures, as well as share their splendid wisdom to inspire and to give hope to our listeners and viewers. This show is aired by the Philippine Las Vegas radio station from the heart of Las Vegas every Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and on Sunday in the Philippines at 10 o'clock in the morning. This is one of your co-hosts, Sir Marvin, welcoming you from New York City. My two other co-hosts, Teacher Judilyn and Teacher Pacita, who are both from New York City, are not joining us tonight, but we are sure that their hearts and their minds are with us all. Let us, I'm asking everyone if you can join me in prayer as we start with this program. Father in heaven, we worship you because you are the God of our lives. You are the God who bestows upon us life, and not only life, but also gifts and talent so that our lives can be blessing to others. Thank you for the calling to teach the hearts and the minds of the youngsters. And we are grateful that for all these years, Father God, you have granted us with the wisdom and the joy and the passion to continue with this teaching, the calling of teaching, and you are our source of inspiration. We thank you for the lives of the teachers who are enjoying, and also, Father God, offering their lives in worship to you inside the classroom or outside the classroom as well. And even right now, we pray you bless the our special guest. May you provide her with the wisdom and the joy, even as she shares her life with all the teachers around the world. We offer this prayer with thanksgiving. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen. All right. Hello po sa ating mga teachers, wherever you are. You might be in the Philippines or in the United States or anywhere in the world. This show is for you. And this show is in celebration of all the wonderful things that we teachers are doing in the classroom. And tonight, we have a very awesome, wonderful guest that we feature in our program tonight. And I cannot wait to introduce her. Okay, our guest tonight is an associate professor at Cebu Technological University-Danao campus, where she also serves as the chairperson of the Internationalization and ASEAN integration. She holds a doctorate in development education degree, also a Master of Arts in Education degree majoring in teaching chemistry, a diploma in professional education, and a Bachelor of Science in Chemistry degree. She is an associate member of the Department of Science and Technology National Research Council of the Philippines, and her teaching career began in 2015 as a high school science teacher at a private institution. And while pursuing her master's degree, she worked as a part-time chemistry instructor at Cebu Technological University main campus and the University of the Visayas. In August 2017, she joined CTU-Danao, where she has been teaching and mentoring future educators at the tertiary level. As a dedicated faculty member, our guest fulfills 4 primary roles: delivering quality instruction, conducting research, engaging in community extension, and contributing to university production. She has spearheaded impactful community extension projects, including the Alive, which is Acapulco Soap for Livelihood and Entrepreneurship from 2018 until 2021, as well as the Kamias Panghugas from 2019 until the present. These initiatives aim to alleviate poverty by providing marginalized groups, such as unemployed mothers, with skills, training, and entrepreneurship technology. Throughout her career, she has received numerous accolades for her contributions. These include the fourth IRIC Best Paper Presenter this year, the Outstanding Extensionista in 2022 and 2023, an Outstanding Production Award in 2022 and 2023, Sustainability Award in 2019, the University Best Practice Recognition in Community Service in 2019 at CTU-Danao campus, the Best Extension Poster Diamond Award in 2018 during the university-wide Community Extension Paper and Poster Presentation. Our guest remains committed to fostering academic excellence, advancing research, and empowering communities through her innovative teaching and extension projects. Ang ating mga teachers, our listeners and our viewers, it is my great honor and joy to introduce to you our guest tonight, Dr. Edralin A. General. Good morning po sa inyo dyan, Dr. Edralin.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning from the Philippines. Good evening to you from New York, Dr. Mingoy, and good afternoon, LA. Just want to greet everyone who are your listeners, viewers. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. And it's good to be in your program po. Thank you so much for the invitation. It's my honor to be part of this radio program. For sharing my I will that will be able for me to share my experience, my teaching journey, and be able to inspire others through this program. Thank you very much.
Of course, Dr. Edralin, it's a joy as well for us, and it's a great honor for us because you wanted to feature and bring in the stories of teachers around the world, and a lot of these teachers are actually coming from the Philippines because we believe that every single teacher has a story to tell.
Yes, and I agree to that.
Maraming salamat po sa iyo. So, Dr. Edralin, you finished a Bachelor of Science degree in chemistry, but you pursued a career in education, which began in 2015 as a high school science teacher at a private institution. Now, please tell us how your journey as an esteemed educator began 9 years ago.
I earned my Bachelor of Science in Chemistry in 2009, and immediately I pursued a career in the industrial sector, working as a laboratory technician and an industrial plant for 5 years. So while doing my role in there, I gained a lot of experience, but throughout my journey for 5 years, it's the fact that I am frequently exposed to occupational hazards, which affects my health. So this prompted me to reflect on a new career path and consider other opportunities. So during this reflection time, I was reminded by the advice of one of my college professors who encouraged us, especially women in the class, to take up education units. Wow. So according to my professor, he emphasized that teaching offers flexibility and stability because in every community, almost every community, there is school, unlike industries that in certain areas, they may not be accessible. So inspired by this advice and as well as being able still to share my passion in chemistry. So I decided to transition to education, in the field of education. So my transition is not easy, Domingoy. while I was working in the laboratory, I
Mhm.
enrolled during my day shift. I enrolled in evening classes to gain that units in education for me to be able to take the licensure examination for teachers. So by 2015, while I was enrolled in my practice teaching, I was so very fortunate that I was hired as a high school science teacher in a private institution.
Mhm.
And this marks the beginning of my rewarding journey as an educator. So the journey of being an educator is not easy, as I would say. There are a lot of crossroads, but I believe that if it is meant for you, it will
Mhm.
happen. So that's
Exactly.
it.
That's very true. It's you've been destined to become a teacher yourself, even when you were trained, like in the
Mm.
industry, like is in as being a chemist.
Yes.
And that really actually like touches my heart so well because we could have the same story, Dr. Edralin, because I am not an education graduate myself as
Mm.
well, and I finished a medical technology degree, but then again, it got me into a pathway where I got into teaching as well. So we have the same story, and I love hearing stories that are like similar to mine. But then, of course, your bachelor's degree is in chemistry, and then your master's is in teaching chemistry. And I'm sure that the master's degree has actually like helped you a lot into your transitioning, but I am um, uh, interested to know about the diploma in professional education. Is this the same as the 18 units that non-education graduates are completing before they can take the board exam?
Yes, Doc Minggoy. The diploma in professional education is it's the same. It's the same with the certificate in professional education, which is a specialized academic programs designed to equip individuals, particularly professionals like us who are non-education degree holder. So we
Mm,
have to take up 18 units because the Philippine Regulatory Commission only
mm,
requires 18 units,
mhm,
education units, to be able
mhm,
to take the licensure examination. But in my case, I took up the diploma. It's an additional 6 units, and
mhm,
that 6 units is the practice teaching.
mhm,
So after gaining my diploma in professional education, of which for me it helps really, because as a non-education graduate, you really need to be equipped with the foundation of educations and all those pedagogies, the skills and the competencies necessary for career in teaching. And this program also serves as a pathway, just like
mhm,
you and me, Dr. Ngoy. It is a pathway for us when we transition to the education field, and it qualifies us to take the
mhm.
licensure examinations.
That's awesome because I remember during my time, which is like it's like ages ago, we just needed to complete
Yes.
18 units, and I believe now lately there is a diploma in professional education, which true to its form, it's a one way of professionalizing non-education graduates, just like what we are, and now we have the opportunity to be in the classroom, even when we are not education graduates, and that's an awesome step for universities and school to offer to all of us. And I'm glad to know that there is one program like that.
Mhm.
Now, Dr. Edralin, you are an associate professor at the Cebu Technological University in the now campus, and also the chairperson of the Internationalization and the ASEAN integration. Now, please tell us your roles and your functions as chairperson of this office. And it seems to me it's like a new, and it's an encompassing and extensive uh, office in your university. So please tell us your roles here and your functions as the chairperson, please.
Uh, I have been serving as a chairperson for internationalization and ASEAN integration since 2022. At the
Mm,
same time, Dr. Mingoy, I'm also the chairperson for the Student Internship Abroad program. which
Oh, that's great. That's
and in this role for the internationalization and ASEAN integration chairperson, it is my responsibility in facilitating both faculty and student mobility initiatives. So
Mhm.
faculty mobility encompasses activities such as research collaborations, faculty exchange, cultural
Mhm.
exchange, and visiting lectureship, etc. So our visit to New York recently is part of my role as task as
That's
a chairperson. It's a
good.
faculty mobility. It's an opportunity for my faculty in the campus to be exposed in the outer world because we are into globalization. We are into
Mhm.
internalization. So that's the role of the office. At the same time, I was tasked to facilitate and fostering partnerships with other institutions, and
Mhm.
that is to expand our engagement in various internationalization initiatives. And this is to ensure that the campus is present and is globally connected. And with regards to my other designation as this chairperson for student internship abroad program, the office will also facilitate all the interns who will do their internship abroad. So recently,
Mhm.
I'm happy to say that I was able to deploy 8 students to Thailand. 8 students to Hong Kong and
Mhm.
4 students to Thailand. So this gives the office gives these students the opportunity to conduct their OJTs or their internship outside of the Philippines.
That's great. These are tertiary level students, like college students,
Yes,
their
Dominica. Yes,
internship.
yes.
Right? And I'm pretty sure sooner or later there would be opportunity for your office to extend collaboration to United States probably for your students, or
Yes,
Europe
yes.
probably, right?
Mm.
That's an awesome one. Yes, that's good. At least we are preparing our students in the extensive globalization
Yes.
of the workforce, and they're prepared to take on the challenges like whenever they are exposed outside, right? That's
Mm.
great. That's great. Man, Dr. Edralin, you are also an associate member of the Department of Science and Technology, National Research Council of the Philippines, and that's the OST and RCP, right? Now, please describe also your involvement with DOST and RCP, and explain or share with us your involvement and how your involvement contributes to the thrusts as well as the mandate of the council, please.
Okay, so the DOST, the Department of Science and Technology National Research Council of the Philippines, it is I would say, a prestigious organization of which it's an organization of which you are be able to share your scientific
Mm,
research, the innovation, and the knowledge dissemination across all disciplines. So as a member of Division 8 Social Sciences of the DOST NRCP, my involvement primarily involves in promoting and extends an excellence research.
mm,
Mostly, this is a gathering of all researchers in the Philippines with different divisions. NRCP has 13 divisions. I belong to Division 8, and Division 8 is on social sciences. So basically,
mm,
if you are a member of the NRCP, you should actively participate or engage yourselves into
mm,
research activities, and that will align in NRCP's priorities, which is to generate knowledge at the same time answering societal and developmental challenges. So one of our research or published research is on community extensions, entrepreneurial activities to poverty reductions. It addresses on issues and concerns of the society. At the same time, it helps in promulgating policies
mm.
to enhance to help in nation building. So I guess it's the trust of and the mandates of every NRCP members to actively participate in research.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's not only a collaboration. It's also like
Yes.
enhancing the partnership in the Philippines. So do you also like involve yourselves in partnerships outside?
Yes, Domingo.
I mean,
So,
outside the country, I should say.
yeah. So, maybe because I'm the chairperson for internationalization, so I am involved in fostering partnership outside. So we do also have research collaborations of different and in different institutions outside the country. So it's a
Mm,
great help that
mm,
research is not only limited to us Filipinos, but research is a collaboration of of fighting or making solutions of
mm,
every societal challenges, not only for us but all throughout even individuals outside the
mm.
Philippines.
Wow, that's great. It's great to know that the Philippines is like reaching outside as well. And we are preparing not only ourselves as educators, but also our students
Yes.
to open globalization. Thank you very much for sharing. You also started your teaching career as a high school science teacher, and you transitioned as a college professor. Do you observe a remarkable difference between teaching high school and college students? I believe it's an easy transition from high school to college, but how do you adjust to the challenges of these different student groups?
Um, yes, there is a significant difference, Domingo, between teaching high school and college students. I believe everyone who has transitioned from high school to college would also see the huge difference of
Mhm.
this learner groups, particularly in terms of the level of maturity and responsibility. College
That's true.
students exhibit greater independence in their studies, and maybe because the way they think is that the university environment is the
Mhm.
training ground for them in the respective field. In high school, it's like more of a play. The students do not take, I would say, in my personal point of view, that the students
Mhm.
do not take it seriously because
Mhm.
more of like they do not mature that yet.
Mhm.
So they do not feel that sense of responsibility and accountability in their studies. So that's one, the level of maturity and responsibility. Also, my experience during in my high school is that which is also for private and public
Mhm.
institutions, that there is scarcity of teachers in their
Mhm.
specific or area of specializations. I would say that because of that, you are forced or you are obliged to teach subjects that are outside of your
Oh,
area of
oh,
specialization.
right.
So I've
That's true.
experienced I've experienced that when I was teaching in high school. I'm not only a science teacher, but you're an all-around teacher. So in
Mhm.
my case, I became a MAPI teacher, an Araling Panlipunan teacher.
That's
So while I made a very effort to deliver the subject effectively to the students, but I found it very challenging to deliver the same depth of instruction
mhm.
as I could in the area of expertise. Whereas in college, I am very fortunate that most of my courses that I've handled are related to
Mhm.
chemistry. So it's easier for me that I would say I will be effective in delivering an end-up content
Mhm.
because it is my area of specialization, and I find it very fulfilling that I become effective as an educator. And how do I adjust to this? Um, my transition to college is easy
Mm,
because I've no longer handled subjects outside my
mm,
specialization, but I do also adjust and consider that we also have different types of learners. So the
mm,
learning styles is patterned to this different type of learners. I cannot push with my lesson because there are some. who are still coping with the discussion.
Mhm.
One solid example is that in the education, I have my BS Ed Science students, and they
Mhm.
were directly introduced to inorganic
Mhm.
chemistry,
Mhm.
and there's no more general chemistry introduction because of the assumptions that they've already had that in their junior and senior high
Mhm.
school. But the realization is that not all students enrolled in the education programs or the tertiary level, especially in the science programs, are
Mhm.
STEM graduates.
Mhm. Mhm.
Some
Yeah,
of them are from
that's
UNS, they
true.
are gas, they are ABM, they are of different track. So I have to adjust and evaluate first their capacity before I introduce the lessons. This is
That's great. That's great. At least for now, we can see that the educators are now aware and very sensitive and responsive to multiple intelligences. And I can say,
yeah.
unlike before, that it may not necessarily be, but now it's a joy to see that even college educators are like considering the differences and the different levels from which the students are coming from. Because speaking about chemistry and then particularly general chemistry, I I almost like did not pass my general chemistry when I was in college, and then was just lucky probably Doc Edralin to say that my my general chemistry one teacher happened to be, and I just learned that towards the end of the semester, happened to be a cousin of my mom. And so it could have been like pasang awa for me. I got my general chemistry grade, it was tres, at 3.0. But I was just wondering because you know my classmate who finished in that university, in the high school in that university was a private school, and her friends were just so comfortable with chemistry. And I was struggling in chemistry. It was because they had their high school chemistry. It was a very solid foundation, but I did not have a solid chemistry foundation when I was in high school. So I observed that in one of my classmates in college, and so I was just a little impressed with that, and so uh, the different story. I just have to marry this classmate of mine who is like very good in chemistry. But anyway, that's beside the story. We're going back to your story, Doc Edralin. But chemistry could be very difficult. But I actually survived it, like with six courses of chemistry up to biochemistry, organic, inorganic, and so on. But anyway, I'm glad that I passed chemistry anyway.
Mhm.
So you also spearheaded impactful community extension projects aside from the spearheading collaboration and extension programs. Um, you shared two projects. One is the Acapulco Soap for livelihood and entrepreneurship, and then also another one is the Kamyas Panghugas. And I'm very interested to know what these extension projects are. Can you share with us and talk in detail? Please talk about Alive first, and let's focus on that. And because I'm also very interested with the Kamyas Panghugas. All right, please share with us what these
Okay, so
projects are all about.
um, the Acapulco Soul for Livelihood and Entrepreneurship is the name of the program. Because
Mm,
when we had our training, a series of training workshops, when you do extension, it must be different from the terms in research. So it must be
mm,
catchy, it
mhm,
must be adaptable to the community. So since I'm using the Alive, which is Acapulco Soap. So basically, this is a soap baking extension project that
mhm.
utilizes Acapulco. So Acapulco is a Cassia alata lean. This is a shrub that is
Uh-huh.
that
That's
can be
great.
grown in the Philippines,
Mm,
and I've utilized the leaves or the concoction of it. It is a utility model
mm,
registered to the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines. Um, And this has been extended to the community because the community needs livelihood. So as part of the fourfold functions, if you are in the academe or the university, you have to do extension projects. And before going to the community, you have to assess of what is the need of that community. So during the training needs assessment, they need the beneficiaries or the targeted beneficiaries of this extension program says that they want to have a livelihood program, and one of that is soap making. So since I am in the field of chemistry, so I think I'll be able to share it to them, my knowledge and making soap. So alive comes from the Acapulco, is from the Acapulco, the concoction of the Acapulco leaves, transforming it into an herbal soap. While the Kamyas Panghugas, because this is somewhat similar, the Kamyas Panghugas is a dishwashing liquid. Because according to the mothers, every day you have to use plates and you have to use dishwashing liquid for these plates to be clean. So they need it as an extra income, especially that the beneficiaries of these two extension projects are the unemployed mothers. They are housewives. So they wanted to help their husbands generate income on their own while they are still in their households. So basically, these two extension projects addresses on developing the community by addressing the sustainable development goal of no poverty. So in other words, this is a livelihood, a skills and livelihood training extended to the community for them to be able to know and how to effectively make these soaps and eventually sell it to the community as an additional income generating. So the project highlighted on using the locally available resources. So both of these beneficiaries are in the municipality of Compostela in Cebu. One is a very mountainous barangay, the last barangay of Compostela, which is Tag-Ubi, where the beneficiaries of Camias Panghugas is. And the other one is the beneficiaries is in Barangay Buluwang. This is separate barangays that we've offered because they need this extra income. So the good thing is that we've utilized the locally grown resources. It's not hard for them to find the ingredients of this product. So Acapulco is the asunting. It's commonly known as asunting. It's a shrub that is used for taking away your skin problems. It is an herbal soap, while the kamyas is the Avaroa bilimbi or the kamyas. In Cebuano, we use this as kamyas or iba. This is sour fruit, yeah, because most of this fruit, the fruit of kamyas, is that they are not well taken care of. So they just have it parang lalalaglag lang yung bunga. So that's underutilized. I would say these are underutilized. So I've utilized, because they are underutilized, I have to think of something that this fruit would be useful. So I made this dishwashing liquid formulation in have been able to file it for utility model for the intellectual property right, extend it to the community, and will do comprehensive training and workshops so that the community would be able to stand on their own, and they'll make an effective dishwashing soap and herbal soap and able to display it. I would say that they were able to display it in different fairs, Doc Mingoy. So it's an additional income to the association, especially for the kamyas that we've created a women association. So this is one way of them for generating income for the association and for bringing food to the table, aside from the income of their husbands. So it's a fulfilling task to see the lives of these ladies, because every time when I go there in the barangay, especially for Camias, because it's 5 years now up to the present, I'm still going to this mountainous barangay. It's not that I will always think this way, that I will be able to help the lives of this individual and impact their lives. So that's a very rewarding for me as an extensionista, because it's a two-way change.
Mhm.
Their lives was changed, but most of all, it is my perspective of life that was
Mhm.
changed also.
Right. It's a way of affirming that actually your switch from the industries to the academe actually is still worth it and it's still fulfilling. And
Mm.
and I know that the Lord has like led you into that because it's has a very special purpose. Not only rewarding for you, Dr. Edralin, also fulfilling for you. And although these women's and mothers and wives may think that they have been the benefit, they actually didn't realize that it all has been heartfelt. The benefit is heartfelt for Dr. Edralin without them knowing it so much. Okay, but thank you very much. And I'm glad to see that uh, this is the real essence of extending your academic background, your knowledge and your concept that you're teaching not only to your students, but you're extending it to the community. And now it's not only students who are sitting in your inside your classroom or benefiting from your academic prowess and in your wisdom and knowledge, but also uh, people from outside the classroom. And and because of your extension program and your ability to connect to a lot of projects, I mean, organization, and I believe this is the very reason why you received numerous accolades for your outstanding contribution. And we mentioned earlier and we enumerated those awards that you have received, like Outstanding Extensionista, Outstanding Production Award, Sustainability Award, and the University Best Practice Recognition in Community Service, and also the Extension Poster Diamond Award, and many more to come, and I'm sure. I know that these accolades did not come to you by mere chance, Dr. Erlin, for these endeavors actually entail hard work, introspection as well. And then, as you have mentioned earlier, you've been like studying what's the need of the community. So, Dr. Edralin, can you share with us what is the motivation behind achieving excellence in these areas of your endeavors?
This is true, Domingo. Achieving all these awards is not the main part of my and this different endeavors, but
Mhm.
it is just a bonus
Mhm.
of the things that I have done, of the hard work that I have done. So the motivation behind achieving excellence in this endeavor is my profound sense of purpose and my
Mhm.
strong commitment to achieving a meaningful impact to the
Mhm.
communities. As I have mentioned earlier,
Wow.
as an extensionista, because most of the awards that I received is from the extension.
Mhm.
So, and it's a very fulfilling award because uh, I have also changed. There is something that is in me that has been changed. As I
Mhm.
mentioned, my perspective of life changes when you visited, when you have a first-hand experience to the community. The more that you appreciate life, the
Mhm.
more that you'll be grateful that you have what you have right now, because you have seen all these individuals, and it's a very heartwarming experience to hear words
Mhm.
of gratefulness and
Mhm.
then everyone thank you for how what you have done for them. So what
Mhm.
drives me, especially as an extensionista, is that I have the opportunity to
Mhm.
share and empower individuals and communities through education. So still my passion in teaching chemistry and me being an educator is still there. I was able to empower these individuals before. They do not have that so-called interpersonal relationship with one
Mhm.
another. But then when we empower them, you could see that they have the capabilities that when you empower a community, we know that when you empower a community, you empower the nation.
Right.
So it's a ripple effect
That's right. That's
from
true.
from a simple project that you've given and
Mhm.
you do not know that there is a ripple effect to
Mhm.
this individual. And hearing their stories is such is a driving force for me to
Mhm.
strive more on excellence. And
Mhm.
also for me, Dr. Migoy, excellence is not merely on a personal achievement, but it's about on creating a positive impact and a
Mm.
lasting impact to the individuals that you have helped.
That's true.
And every time when I go to the communities, or even every time when I started, uh, even in class,
Mm.
I was grounded or I was guided with my faith.
Mhm.
So I always seek wisdom and
Mm.
guidance from Him, ensuring that everything that I do is aligned with a greater or a higher purpose.
Right.
So, because at the end of the day, it's between me and my God. And
Mhm.
I will reflect and question myself, does this things that I've done
Mhm.
gives Him glory? Because for
Exactly.
me, that is the ultimate measure of
Mhm.
success.
Yeah.
So without him glorified, without him being glorified in my work, it's not success for me. So
Exactly.
I've always been thankful that every time when I do all these endeavors in life, God is always with me.
Mhm.
And that is why when I say this is just bonus of the
Mhm.
things and
Right.
a reward from him who
Mm.
blessed me because I've allowed myself to be an instrument of
Mm.
his goodness.
Exactly, exactly. It all started actually from experiencing that wonderful blessing, so
Yes.
that you become blessing and you become a channel of blessing as
Yes.
well. In whatever we do, I know that it's true in your life. Whatever we do is like always a form of worship to God, right? Maraming
Yes.
salamat. That's a wonderful story, Dr. Edralin. Maraming salamat. So, yes, that's true. And I agree that whatever accolade that we receive, they just as bonus because there's like a greater, like a greater reward right in here in our hearts. Maraming salamat po. And I do not want to end this interview without asking you about your experience when you visited New York City a few months ago, when you presented during the fourth International Research and Education Conference. And other than the experience of presenting, again, God has given you another bonus because you won a best presenter. Best presenter during this international conference. Doc Edralin, what is your first impression of the city and also your first impression of the Filipino American educators who you met during this international conference?
Um, I was very grateful actually, Doc Mingoy, for the opportunity. And God opened me an opportunity to visit New York City. And as I have explored the city, indeed, it is a truly vibrant and a dynamic metropolis, true to its reputation that is a city that never sleeps. So
So,
at 12 midnight, still the city is alive.
yes.
Um, and also, it is a very heartwarming experience for me to meet fellow Filipino
Mhm.
educators. Um, and it reaffirms us the innate Filipino values of pakikipagkapwa or kapwa,
Mhm. Mhm.
which is a profound sense of shared commitment, or even there is a shared identity and connection that binds us together wherever
Mhm.
we are in the world. So I think it's a very good Filipino values that whenever you meet a Filipino, you know that you develop that sense of
Mhm.
shared identity. So
Exactly.
I have experienced that when I was given the opportunity to meet these fellow Filipino educators in New York. And I will also have to grab this opportunity, Doc Mingoy, to say thank you to the AFTEA people and the
Mm.
organizing
Yes.
committee, because as you know, I have experienced the unexpected and
Yes.
unforgettable circumstance that happens that I've encountered when I was there, and the AFTEA assisted me all throughout, and I will be truly grateful for the
Mhm.
help. So it's everything happens for a reason. God has reason
That's true.
why
Yes, that's true.
I've encountered it, and
Mhm.
during that time, I was able to see of how good and great God is in my
Mhm.
life. So,
Yes.
Aftea, thank you very much for all the help and the assistance.
That's true. That's true. Because Aftea is actually it's family oriented. So
Yeah.
it provides not only an avenue for us educators to present our researches, but it opens this door for everyone to have another family here
Yes.
in New York City. And I'm sure we have another IRIC coming up in next 2 years. So we're hoping that we can be provided with a lot more opportunities to connect with teachers and educators around the world. Um, so, Dr. Edralin, you are both an educator and an administrator.
Mm-mm.
So please share with us both your teaching and your managerial styles. Where do you pattern these teaching styles and management styles, or what is your inspiration for embracing these styles of teaching and
Um, I teach both lecture and laboratory courses in chemistry. So
management?
my focus is on a learner-centered and interactive classroom.
Mhm,
So my teaching style will emphasize on participation and
mhm,
active collaboration, and as well as a real-world application of the concept. So that's the lecture and laboratory style. So
right.
basically, it's more on student-centered. I'll just be a facilitator of learning. So
Mhm,
every time when I do my discussion in the class, I will give opportunities to the students, especially that we are training future educators. So
mhm,
it's a way of training them that they should also know how to handle a class, how to manage a class. I am very strict when it comes to managing the class, Mingoy. And because we are training them,
mhm,
because
mhm.
someday they will become teachers,
Teach
they will be
themselves, yes.
building the nations. So we have to be very firm with the rules in the classrooms and how you manage the classrooms, and set yourself as an example of the role that you have implemented in the class. So what inspires me is because I have seen this in my professors. So I
Mhm,
remember before, my college professors in chemistry will say that the knowledge that he passed through us is only 50% from the knowledge that he gets from his
mhm,
professor. So I
mhm,
say, I would have wanted it that the knowledge that I've gained from him will be fully transferred to
mhm.
my students.
Yes.
So I will always be very strict to my students when it comes to their study habits.
Mhm,
I will
mhm,
not allow them, Doc Minger, to just read one book,
mhm,
one
mhm,
resources. I would say explore everything, at least a minimum of five. You read the concept,
mhm, mhm,
because the concept serves as a fuel in a car. Because
mhm,
without this concept, the car will not move.
mhm.
So even though you have the strategies, you've learned all those techniques and methodologies, but if you do not have that concept,
Mhm.
still there's no learning. So you
Ah,
have to develop in you the concept. At the same time, you adopt the strategies and how to deliver this concept effectively. And I've learned that in my chemistry class for the concept, and I've learned it in my DPE class for the strategies. So I've
mhm,
applied it in the classroom. Whatever I've learned, even during seminars or even during a casual conversation with an
mhm,
educators, I apply it because I believed every day is a learning process. I am
mhm,
still learning, though I've considered myself as a new in the education field, so I still have a lot to learn. And
mhm,
also, the principles that have anchored this, because this is lecture and laboratory, is more on constructivism. Okay,
mhm,
in which the students will be able to construct their new ideas, deliver it, share it openly in the class, because I want an interactive classroom. It's not more on focused on me, but more on the students interacting and sharing their ideas. And that's how I manage my class.
mhm,
When it comes to my designation as well, I'll apply it. I'll stick to guidelines. That's guidelines.
Mhm.
You cannot say that it's usually you do this and do that. When I say this is guidelines.
Mhm.
And eventually, my colleagues will just follow
Mhm.
because you are firm to that
Mhm.
standards or guidelines and not tweak on that guidelines because that's for me is a form of corruption
Mhm.
and we do
Mhm.
not want that. So we have to stick on that
Mhm.
principle.
That's true. That's true. That's always like, follow the rules, be
Yeah.
transparent with all our dealings.
Mm.
And because we know that there is nothing hidden, like there is still a greater knowledge is like looking at us, and we will all give account to everything that we
Yeah.
do, right? Even when others
Yeah.
are not looking at us or others are not aware of what we're doing.
Mm,
Very
mm,
nice. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Edralin. I think when you mentioned earlier about allowing students to learn in class under having them the ability to learn how to learn, and then you as an educator also you are learning, and you're not only learning, you are also applying at whatever you learn. So it's the concept of innovation as far as I'm concerned, because you're not just stuck into one box, but whatever you learn, you try it and see if it works, and whatever works, you embrace it. So. What do you think? What is your concept then, Dr. Edralin, as an educator? What's your concept of innovation? What's your concept of innovation in education, and how do you think this development in education drives the present curriculum and the present learning designs of schools and the student way of learning in general?
Uh, I'm just so happy, Doc Menggoy, that I've experienced that while taking up my diploma in professional educations
Mm,
and after having my licensure exam and the opportunity to teach in high school and even in the tertiary level, that the Philippines is adapting on innovating our education system. So
that's great.
before, when I do have my trainings on EdTech, so these are educational technologies of which for me is very necessary because this innovation in educations introduce new ideas. It introduce concepts that
Mhm,
is far from what we have learned during our elementary or high school years, which is the traditional method of teaching. Okay, so here, because we are on the 21st century teaching, and which we have to make our learners the main
mhm,
event of the class, because
mhm,
we have to give them opportunities, and that innovation for me is very good because you have to introduce concepts, ideas, especially as well in the innovation that you've introduced technology
mhm,
in
mhm.
your in the teaching and learning process. Uh, We've experienced this in the Philippines when there is a gradual change because of the COVID-19 pandemic, when we
Mhm.
were forced to transition from a face-to-face to an online mode of instruction. So that's innovation in education. We've applied this, we transitioned from the traditional one to a technology driven. And I
Mhm.
would say that most of us in the educators, especially those that are of the higher age brackets, are way behind our
Mhm.
learners because they are techie, they are more
More than we
techie
do.
than
Yeah.
us. They are more knowledgeable when it comes
Uh-huh.
to technology. So we have also, as an educator, you have to be flexible. You have to
Mhm.
adapt in these changes in education. Do not be hesitant in these changes because we our learners are changing. So we have to the subtle adaptability of an
Mhm.
educator at the same time be flexible so that we could cater the needs of our learners and we can shape them and we could see and how we are going to intervene, how we are going to integrate the concepts to them by using this technology. And I will say that this technology is very important, especially on
Mhm.
my part, because during the COVID-19 pandemic, we will not be able to do or conduct an actual experimentation. So
Uh,
thanks to simulation, thanks to
mhm,
a
mhm.
lab, that we could still be able to
To do.
push
Mhm.
with the discussions or learning the students will be able to learn the concepts because they can not only perform it at home but they can perform it through their laptops, to their cell phones with the same concepts and ideas.
Mhm.
And as for me, it's a very good um reshaping of the curriculum because of these innovations.
Awesome, very nice. Like, well, thank you for sharing your perspective on innovation because we believe that this is now shaping the the new curricular challenges and the designs at present. Now, Dr. Edralin, as in all of our interview episodes, we enjoy every moment, but it's always time that is not so friendly with us. And how we wish we how I wish we can have more time continue and have more of the discussion and sharing with you, but time is time is not telling us, and it's
Mhm.
very cruel in the sense that it's time to for us to end this this episode in this interview, but it is always a joy for us to have educators like you to share your life with us. So it's time for us to share our life quote. And I'm going to share my life quote first, and then you share your life quote, Dr. Edralin, and then also after your life quote, your final words to our listeners and our viewers. Before I share my life quote, I would like to uh, thank you for the opportunity and for sharing your life with the teacher voice, for sharing your life and your story and your wisdom and your inspiring words and your uh, noteworthy extension programs to our listeners and our viewers. We are always grateful for educators who sharing their lives with us. And we know that it is with a wonderful and divine purpose that we have the opportunity accorded to all of our teachers because everyone has a story, and we know we have this ministry of not only teaching but the ministry of sharing our lives with everyone. So thank you very much, Dr. Edralin, on behalf of teacher Judilyn and teacher Pacita. I know that even when they were here, they would also enjoy a conversation with you. Now, my life quote is this: proper education is the education of the heart. For when we educate with the heart, we bring the heart of God and we bring the love of God in our teaching. So when we have the love of God in our hearts, we can love even the most unlovable among our students. Maraming salamat po, Doc Edralin. Now it's your turn,
Thank you very much, Doc Mingoy. And even thank you
of
so much for
course.
inviting me. And the 1 hour's passed already, so I
I
just
you
talk a lot.
know, right?
So, I would just like to share this to everyone that education is not just about filling the minds with knowledge, but
Mhm.
it's igniting the curiosity of their students. And as an educators, we have the power to reshape, to change the future because by empowering our students to believe in themselves and
Mhm.
allows them to never stop exploring the world around them. Thank you very much
Sure.
for this wonderful time and the opportunity as well to share
Of
my
course.
my experience as an educator. This is a very good platform, Doc Mingay. Thank
I know, right? It's our joy, and it's an honor to have you. Now, can you share your parting words to our listeners and viewers? Well, Doc Edralin?
you. To everyone who are listening, for viewing for this in the Philippines and even all over the world in the United States, I would like to say thank you. And before saying this, before parting, I will always able, even with my students, I will always say that in everything that you do, put God first, and the rest will follow.
Of course. Thank you very much again, Dr. Edralin. Thank you,
Thank you
PHLV.
very much.
And we hope to have another collaboration in
Yes,
the
looking
future.
forward, Doc Mingoy, looking
Of course.
forward.
All right. See you the next episode. God bless us
Thank
all.
you. God bless. Bye bye,
Thank you very
everyone.
much. All right.
Bye.
Thank you, PHLV. And thank you for all the teachers and for all the things that you do. Bye now.